For more, let's bring in Senate Armed Services Committee member, Senator Markwayne Mullin. Senator, fantastic to see you. President Trump saying help is on the way, but what is help in your mind or based on your knowledge? Will it involve, in short order, kinetic strikes of some sort?
Well, keep in mind the first line of help was to get communication back in line, and fortunately, Elon Musk with Starlink is helping. The problem that you have there is every time that it is used, which you reported this, they're actually hunting down Starlink users. Every time that a Starlink is used, it sends a signal up, and they can track down where that signal came from. But at the same time, we can also track down leaders the same way. I want you to go back to the 12-day war to where the president made it very clear that we could have taken out the Iranian regime at that time if he chose to, because we had intelligence that let us know where they're at. Now, when they shut down the communications from the Iranian people, what they did is they also exposed themselves, Dagan, by every time they communicate, either by a cell phone or shortwave radio, it sends out a signal, and we're able to grab that. So I think you can see two things happen here. One, we are restoring connectivity for those Iranian people so they can share the truth to the world. And two, we can see a direct strike towards the Iranian leadership that is causing and ordering the slaughter of the Iranian people, because we're not at war with the Iranian people. We're trying to protect them. We're letting them get back to the country they had prior to the overthrow of Shah in 1979. And so we could put the leadership into hiding to where chaos is pulled out. We've got reports that the Iranian army is not in favor of what's happening right now. And so they've called back the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, which this is considered like the SS of Hitler. And they've called them back and bringing them back in. They're very loyal. The Revolutionary Guard is very loyal to the regime in power. And if we can cause chaos because there's no one directing them, then you can allow the Iranian people to get back to the country they once were prior to 1979.
Senator, when President Trump was asked to define what winning means, he referenced three guys who, one way or another, got taken out of their position. And the most recent, obviously, is Maduro. Is that the ultimate goal here? Either take these guys out soon, involuntarily, or basically say, you got to get out yourselves and you got to do it now?
Well, we gave Maduro an opportunity to get out. He chose not to leave. We will eventually make it very clear to the regime in Iran that they can leave if they choose to, or stay put and face the consequences. You know, it's interesting that most regime leaders, especially in the Middle East like this, in Iran, we'll just say, they want people to sacrifice themselves and go and get whatever they call it, their 77 virgins. But at the end of the day, they're not willing to die for their cause. And so they're very selfish and self-serving. And at the end of the day, they are not suicidal. So I would see that they would probably take an out if they could. And I'm sure Russia would probably welcome with open arms. What we want to do in Venezuela and in Iran is support the people there. In Venezuela, we removed a criminal, right, an indicted criminal. This is a little bit different, even though Iran is a world sponsor of terror. We don't have an indictment necessarily directly towards everyone in the regime, but the Iranian people have spoken. They want to have freedom again, and I want to make sure we're very clear on this. I was born in 1977. In 1977, Iran was more westernized than maybe even the United States. It had more people in political office, more women in political offices, and in the workforce than the United States did at the time. So they're not too far removed. I mean, these were my parents' age. They're still there. They understand what Iran used to be. And their kids, which are my age, was raised up a little bit different. We want to give them the opportunity to get back to their greatness that Iran once was, which is why we've been very, very, very direct by saying we are not at war with the Iranian people. Right. We want to give them the opportunity to win back their country.
After the killing of Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Quds force,
Right.
Iran struck one of our bases in Iraq a few days after that. And according to Keith Kellogg, President Trump said, you tell the Supreme Leader he's next if he doesn't back off. We
Right.
know where he is. We know where he lives. And so it's kind of similar thing playing out.
Yeah.
I want to get your opinion quickly on this. DNC Chair Ken Martin compared what's going on in Minnesota to the protests in Iran. He posted this on X. From Tehran to my birthplace of Minneapolis, people are rising up against systems that wield violence without accountability. To compare the deadly, murderous, oppressive regime in Iran to law enforcement, in essence, and the Trump administration is beyond the pale.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Ken Martin is so out of touch. The Democrat Party is so out of touch with the American people. I guess they think you can pick and choose which laws you enforce. We're a nation of laws. That's what separates us from a third world country, is that we are a nation of laws that people want to come here because they feel safe. Underneath the Biden administration, they ignored laws, and we saw lawlessness take place. And now that we're trying to reinforce those, you would think they'd be happy, but they aren't. And for him to say something that reckless is absolutely insane. But this is why the Democrat Party has approval ratings at the lowest they've ever been. You can't explain that. And I tell my kids all the time, listen, you can't explain crazy. And that's where the leader of the DNC is. But that's also shows where the leadership of the Democrat Party is.
Senator Markwayne Mullin, always good to see you. Thanks for being with us, sir.
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks, Senator.